Preparations continue underway for the 1,500-meter Women's Canadian Long Track Championships, about to start in 5 minutes. The officials are readying themselves. Everybody up here in the timing deck is getting ready to go. Let me give a shout out to a number of people as we head into the Space Odyssey 2000 song. Meet coordinator Greg Planart, making sure everything runs smoothly from top to bottom. Chief referee Rick Hunt. Assistants Boyka Stoffel, Travis Boyd, Dave Thompson, Tracy Hillis, Bruce Thor, Rona Hathaway, and Werner Meyer. Stand unless there's a change. Blair Toblin, Andrew Cross, Adrian Tellison, and assisting all those three is Brad Bates. Up here in results, Gloria Davis. Bell ringing. We've got Bay and her two sons, Alphonse and Ramey. Got them trained to ring that bell like no other bell ringer could ever do so. Photo finish. We got Ashley Young, Jonathan Guimet on Webmaster, and Executive Director John Little. And I'll change that in just a moment. IT Specialist John Little. We got medics Noah Vespa and Avanish Badoni. And a big shout out to Jill Lynch, Speed Skating Canada Coordinator of Events, and Nicole Espinant, Director of Marketing and Engagement. You know what that means. Showtime. 2-minute warning. Officials, 2-minute warning. On Webmaster is not Jonathan Guillemette, it's Leslie Cassidy. Leslie Cassidy, welcome to the timing deck with Webmaster and executive producer John Little, and along with Ashley Young, we're going to make this feed on YouTube, Facebook, and CBC, and also with respect to those that are watching on the screen, make this work. It'll go quiet now, and I'll introduce the first pairing shortly before 4 o'clock. I heard the whistle. We have 10 pairings in the 1,500-meter women's long track speed skating championships. In the first pairing, starting out in the inside lane from Quebec, Ariane Fournier. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Claire Mallard. Good luck, ladies. And the first pairing is underway here at the Canadian Long Track Championships for the 1,500 meters. Fournier clocks in her first 300 meters at 28.06. Mallard in at 28.21. Those obviously will be the times to beat as we move forward. 1,500 meters is 3 3/4 laps around the 400 meter, 13 meter wide, 3 centimeter thick ice. They're 700 meters into the race with a lap time of just over 31 seconds. Their personal best for Ariane Fournier is a 2:08. And for Mallard, the season's best for Fournier is 2:17. She's going to want to be able to at least achieve that in today's race. Let's hope for personal best and season's best to fall. Here they come down the straightaway. They are now going to get a bell. And there it is with 400 meters to go. A 32 to 33 second lap. Barely half a second separating these two on the ice. Their last bit of encouragement from their coaches and instruction. Fournier will cross over and head to the outside as she's done. And here comes Mallard and Fournier out of the corner. We're down on the straightaway. The most difficult distance in the sport of speed skating. Everything they got. Here comes Fournier and Mallard, and they both cross the line. 2:07.44 for Fournier, 2:07.58 is a personal best and a significant personal best for Claire Mallard. Great race, ladies. 2 personal bests to kick off the first pairing. Well done. In the second pairing, in the inside lane, from Alberta, Victoria Goplan. And in the outer lane, from Alberta as well, Brooklyn McDougall. Okay, we're well into the second pairing as they... Brooklyn McDougall with a personal best of 2:01. Her first 300 meters is a time of 25.02. Goplan clocks in her 300 meters at 27.51. Brooklyn has a 2:01 plus for a personal best, and Goplan in at 2:08. So hopefully these particular times are challenged. Brooklyn McDougall is having an excellent meet. She had a first place finish and is the crowning 500 meter champion in the women's 500 meter event for the long track champion. Yeah. There is still 1 1/4 laps to go in this race. They're coming here, and this is the official bell lap. Goplan had a 32.4 second lap, McDougall at 33.6. So the times we're looking for, Goplan to beat 2:08.86 and McDougall 2:01.39. This is a grueling race. Last bit of instructions from the coaches as McDougall rounds the inner turn, inner lane on the last corner. Here she comes down the straightaway. Everything these skaters got being cheered on by their peers. Let's see what they cross the line at. McDougall crosses the line at 2:03.92. Goplan at 2:04.66. That is a personal best for Goplan, Victoria Goplan. Congratulations. We now move to the third pairing of 10 pairings. Starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Laura Hall. And in the outer lane from Quebec, Rosanne Grenier. In case you've just joined us on YouTube, this is pairing number 3 of the 1,500-meter women's race in the Canadian Long Track Championships, the fastest women in Canada in long track. They're about to clock in their first 300 meters. Grenier comes in at 28, Hall in at 20. One of the reasons for the Long Track Championships, other than seeking a crowning time for one of these ladies, is to qualify for the World Cups, when there are 4 of them in Poland, Norway, in the U.S., and in Canada. The World Cup standard to qualify for Canada is 157, or rather for the World Cup is 157.32. Only 3 women have done that in season's best so far in this grouping. Let's see how we make out today. But up ahead we have 4 of the top 20 times in Canada so far in the 1,500, and I'll tell you more about that as we race on. Right now you're watching Laura Hall and Rosanne Grenier. Hall from Alberta, Grenier from Quebec. And they'll be coming up here to their bell lap, 1,500 meters, 3 3/4 time around. And this is a grueling race. It is a sprint marathon that taxes the skaters like exhaustion, leaving everything out there. And they're feeling it now. And you can see it as they work hard, as they make their way around the final corner. And here comes, these racers are got a close time. Here comes Hall and Grenier right now. And crossing the line first is Laura Hall at 2:02.48. Rosanne Grenier at 2:03.70. And both of these ladies achieved a personal best. They're absolutely exhausted. Congratulations, Laura, and congratulations, Rosanne. We now move to the 4th pairing. Starting out in the inside lane from Alberta, Abby Young. And in the outer lane from Quebec, Emmanuel Cote. False start. We're going to do it again. And now you're watching the 4th pairing of 10, Abby Young from Alberta and Emmanuel Cote from Quebec. Abby Young is in the blue skin suit. Emmanuel Cote is in the Canadian suit. Abby crosses the first 300 meters at a time of 27.4. Abby Young at 27.76. Abby Young's personal best is 2:05 and change, and Emmanuel Cote's in at 2:04 1:34.94. As these racers race on, I mentioned that the World Cup standard is 1 minute 57 seconds, .32. The top 20 times in the 1,500 women's in the world, we have 4 of them. The 6th fastest time is Yvonne Blondin. The 9th fastest is Valerie Malte. The 11th is Madison Perriman, and the 15th is Abigail McCluskey. These racers are... Right now we're watching Abby Young and Emmanuel Cote as they go down the backstretch and finish this corner, moving soon into the bell lap. Abby Young is wearing the blue. Emmanuel Cote is in the Canadian outfit. Abby Young had a lap time of 31:61. Emmanuel Cote in at 32:89. You're watching both skaters. Abby Young, Emmanuel Cote. Abby Young is going to come out of the corner first and give it all she's got. Can she best her 2:05.51 time? Can Cote beat her 2:04? Abby Young crosses the line at 2:03.58 and does by 2 seconds. Abby Young. Emmanuel Cote, 1,500 meter time, 2:05.71. Just off her personal best, but definitely a season's best. We now move to the 5th pairing of 10. Starting out in the inside lane from Manitoba, Lindsay Kent. And in the outer lane from Alberta, Anna Bourgeois. In case you've just joined us on YouTube or Facebook or the CBC stream, we are Women's Canadian Long Track Championships, where the fastest long track skaters are happening right now in this distance. 26:63 is Lindsay Kent's 300-meter opener. Bourgeois in at 27.01. Lindsay Kent is in the Canadian skin suit. Anna Bourgeois is in the blue and black skin suit. Lindsay Kent has a personal best of 2 minutes, .01 seconds, and a Bourgeois 2:03.29. They also have some season's best. This is going to be an interesting race. I think they look like 2 evenly matched skaters. Kent's lap time is at 29:27. Bourgeois has kept hers under 29. This is going to be an interesting finish here as these 2 skaters battle it out to make sure that they try and get the best time for themselves and push each other as well. You want the best for your opponent, and you want the best for yourself, because at the end of the day, you're competing against the time. They're going down the lap time, and 400 meters left. And how much do they have left? Here they go. Lindsay Kent down the backstretch, getting her final instructions from her coach. Bourgeois doing the same. They know exactly what's going on. Lindsay Kent is going to finish in the outer lane. Bourgeois on the inside lane. And here comes Lindsay now. She has a time of 2 minutes, .01 seconds. Can she best her personal best? Down the stretch they go as hard as they possibly can, giving it all they got, being encouraged by their peers. Lindsay Kent cross line at 2 minutes, .18. Just off her personal best. But Anna Bourgeois does in fact get a personal best with a time of 2:02.42. That is, however, a season's best for Lindsay Kent. Congratulations, Lindsay. Congratulations, Anna. We now get ready. Starting in the inside lane in the Battle of Quebec. Say hello to Ophélie Junot. And in the outer lane, from Quebec as well, Gabrielle Jelinek. We are now into the sixth pairing, Battle of Quebec with Ophélie Junot and Gabrielle Jelnock. Traveling from Quebec into Calgary to compete. Gabrielle has the Canadian skin suit on, and she does an opening 300 with 26.68. 4. That's the third fastest opener so far. You can see on the screen Ophélie Junot is following in behind closely Jelnock to get offered to get benefit from the draft, to make a little bit of the skating of the resistance a little bit easier. Gabrielle Jelnock is in the Canadian skin suit, as I mentioned, and Ophélie is in the black skin suit. Ophélie has a personal best time of 2:03. Jelnock in at 2:01.7. Let's see how they make out. There's a grueling race. They'll want to achieve their personal best, or at the very least, they have season's best. They're coming on to 1,100 meters of a 1,500 meter race. The bell is going to ring in just a moment, and there it goes. Less than 400 meters to go. Jelnock's PB 2:01.70. Ophélie 2:03.41. Madison Pearman holding the 11th fastest time in the 1,500 in the world this year so far. Now we see Junot and Jelnock rounding the final corner. Here comes Jelnock. All she's got to beat the time of 2:01.70 to beat her PB. She's pushing hard. She crosses the line at 2:01.79 and just misses it. Junot in a 2:05.15, and Junot gets a season's best. Very good race, lady. Well done. The time to beat: Lindsay Kent, 2 minutes, 0.17. Jelnock at 2:01.79, and Bourgeois, 2:02.42. We now move to the seventh pairing. In the inside lane from Alberta, Madison Pearman. And in the outer lane from Manitoba, okay, we're in the seventh pairing right now. Madison Pearman and Alexa Scott in this 1,500 meter women's Canadian long track race. Two evenly matched skaters. Their opening 300 is very close. Alexa Scott 300 opener is 25.83. Pearman's in at 25.89. Pearman has a personal best of 1:57.07, which is also her season's best, which also is a time that has assisted qualifying for the World Cup, at least unofficially, but it's done in this race, of course. And Alexa Scott, personal best at 1:58.59. Their lap times are absolutely exact at 28.34. Down the backstretch they go, getting instructions from their coaches. Pearman starting in the inside lane will finish in the outer lane. Alexa Scott starting in the outer will finish in the inner. They're coming into the bell lap right now. Very evenly matched skaters. And all they got with less than 400 meters to go. Well known in the track speed skating world here in Calgary. And everybody's going to be cheering them on as they go down the straightaway towards the finish line. We're looking for a qualifying time of 1:57:32 along with their personal bests. And here they come. Alexa Scott will cross the line first, and she'll do so in a time of 1:56:52.92. That will be a personal best for Alexa Scott. We now move to pairing number 8. Starting this race in the inner lane from Quebec, Beatrice Lamarche. And in the outer lane from Saskatchewan, Callie Christ. And we're now into the 8th pairing of 10 pairings with Beatrice Lamarche and Callie Christ. Both in the Canadian skin suits. Beatrice Lamarche with an opening 300 meters at 25.81. Christ in at 26.44 as they now settle in to the 3 3/4 lap race of the 1,500 meters. The qualifying time is 1:57:32. For the World Cups. Beatrice Lamarche has a personal best of 1:56.97 and a season's best of 2:04.13. Callie Christ, her personal best is 1:54.44 and a personal season's best of 1:57.97. Coming on the 1,100 meter mark, and that's the bell lap with 400 meters to go. Lamarche is crossing over the lane, heading for the outer lane. Christ will take the inner lane, and that's how they will finish. Lamarche will come out of the corner first, followed by Christ, and here they come down the straightaway. The last remaining 100 meters. Here comes Beatrice Lamarche and Callie Christ. It's getting close. Lamarche crosses the line at a time of 1:58.45. Christ at 1:58.80. That is a season's best for both of these skaters. We now move to the 9th pairing, the second last pairing of the 1,500 meter in the inside lane from Ontario, Isabelle Weideman. And in the outer lane from British Columbia, say hello to Abigail McCluskey. We are in the 9th pairing. Isabelle Weideman and Abigail McCluskey competing for the 1,500 meter. Abigail McCluskey holds the 15th fastest time in the world for this season in the 1,500 meters. Isabelle Weideman 27.02. McCluskey in at 26.36. Weideman's personal best is a 154.30. And McCluskey's in at 155.19. Very evenly matched skaters. These skaters are no strangers to the speed skating world. Have represented Canada abroad. Both are in their Canadian speed skating skin suits. Isabelle Weideman will finish off in the outer lane. Abigail McCluskey will finish off in the inner lane. And that is the bell lap. Isabelle will cross over into the outer lane, and that's where she will finish. Weideman has a and McCluskey in at 30.75. Weideman comes out of the corner first, and here she comes down the stretch. The last 100 meters for Isabelle Weideman and Abigail McCluskey. The toughest distance in speed skating. Weideman crosses the line with a time of 1:55.58 for a season's best. McCluskey in at 1:58.35. Congratulations, ladies. We now move to the 10th and final pairing of the 1,500 meters in the Canadian Long Track Championships. In the inside lane from Ontario, rather Quebec, would you please say hello to Valerie Malte? And start Vinnie Blondin. Okay, we are well underway in the 10th and final pairing with Valerie Malte, who holds the 9th fastest 1,500-meter time in the world this season, and Evanie Blondin holds the 6th fastest time. The time to beat today is Isabelle Weideman's at 1:55.57. We got an opening 300 meters by Evanie Blondin at 25.93, 1 second off the pace. 1 second better than the pace, rather. Valerie Malte in at 26.13, almost a second. Weideman's the time to beat, 1:55.57. Alexa Scott, 1:56.52. And Madison Perriman, 1:57.92. Those are the times to beat. As they head down the backstretch, I'll tell you, Valerie Malte's personal best is a 1:55.44. Evanie Blondin, a 1:51.76. Their season's best has not qualified them, but has a time better than the qualifying. Let's see if they can hold it today on a meet where their time matters. And there is the bell lap. Valerie Malte and Evanie Blondin as they head down the straightaway for their final instructions from their coaches. Malte will finish in the outside lane, Blondin in the inside lane. Here comes Evanie. He's got Malte doing the same. Blondin is going to cross the line, and she does so at a time of 1:54.64 for a season's best. Malte in at 1:55.80, just off her personal best, but a season's best. And that's how it's going to be. Evanie Blondin with the top time, top fastest time, 1:54.64. Isabelle Weideman, 1:55.57. And Valerie Malte, 1:55.80. The top three times. We'll have a medal presentation shortly after the ice flooding prior to the men's 1,500 meters, and the medal presentation will be given out by Peter McCrory, the director of the Olympic Oval. It's 4:30 now. We will start at 5 o'clock. That's when we will return. Congratulations to Evanie Blondin, Isabelle Weideman. Okay, we're going to do the medal presentation to crown the fastest 1,500 meter long track speed skater in Canada. For those that are joining us or listening or watching on YouTube or Facebook or CBC, you'll be able to hear me just fine, and those in the stands, you can hear me just fine. But believe it or not, the one and the individual giving out the awards, they'll just hear a bit of my words, but they won't hear it clear. The speaking sound system is not that great. But giving out the awards will be Peter McCrory, the director of the Olympic Oval. So we are going to hand out medals to the top three fastest times in the 1,500 meters of the Canadian Long Track Championships. Let's start with Valerie Malte with a time of 1:55.80 from Quebec. Also, third place finish in the 3,000. Let's give it up for Valerie Malte. I'd say she's having a good meet. Hey, Valerie, you having a good meet? I'd say so. In the second fastest time, another young lady who's having a fantastic meet, who won the 5,000 meter and set a track record, and also the 3,000 meter, which second place in this 1,500 meter with a time for Isabel Weidman. And the fastest time today, who held the sixth fastest time in the 1,500 meter in the world. So far, I haven't checked where she ranks as of today with the 1:54.64. Give it up for the top 1,500 meter fastest woman in Canada, Yvonne Blondin. Peter McCrory, director of the Olympic Oval, will hand out the medals. Congratulations, ladies. Who crushed her personal best by 2 seconds with a time of 1:56.52. Congratulations, Alexa from Manitoba, and Valerie Malte, Isabel Weideman, and Yvonne Blondin. Congratulations on the top three places. Coming up in 11 minutes, the 1,500 meter men's race. But first, a little queen in honor of Valerie, Isabel, and Yvonne. How about a little song for the crowd sitting in the stands? Maybe a little sing-along as we head into 9 minutes away from the men's 1,500 meters. They can't hear you sing on YouTube, but you can hear your partner sing. To the athletes who are preparing for their races, you are asked not to accelerate into the corners, which would be the starting area. Yeah, the 1,500 meter starting area, please do not accelerate in the inner lane as you warm up. It's a safety request, please. If you do that, we'll get the speed skating police after you. Four minutes to race time. 3 minutes away from the 1,500-meter men's race. In this 1,500-meter men's, these are the top 20 times for men in Canada. And here they are, out to seek out a qualifying time for World Cups. And that time is 1:45.70. I'm going to go quiet now until I hear the whistle from the starters, and then introduce the first pairings of Joshua Hathaway and Joshua Tellison. Two Joshuas. I hear the whistle, a signal for the skaters to head to the starting area, and I see the skaters. As they head into their lanes, allow me the opportunity to introduce them. In the first pairing of 10 pairings in the 1,500-meter men in the Canadian Long Track Championships, starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Joshua Hathaway. Joshua Tellison. Good luck, gentlemen. Okay, we are well underway in the first pairing as they head down the first 200 or so meters, connecting with their coaches, Joshua Tellison and Joshua Hathaway. Tellison is in the black, Hathaway is in the blue. Tellison completes his first 300 meters at 25:22, obviously the time to beat. Hathaway in at 26 even, heading down the back stretch. Draft from Tellison, even if it's just for a second or two. You never know how much that helps out those racers, if it works out. Joshua Tellison is in the black skin racing suit. Joshua Hathaway is in the blue. Hathaway has a personal best of 150.78. Tellison is at 151.62. They'll be looking to best those times. I mentioned earlier the qualifying time for the World Cups is 1:45.70. I'll talk more about World Cup selection as these pairings unfold, as this is really the last major event of the day. The bell lap has gone. We're less than 400 meters away. Tellison in the black outfit, Hathaway in the blue. Hathaway will finish in the outer, Tellison in the inner. And here first down the straightaway, looking to best his personal best. All they got, the most difficult race in speed skating right now. Tellison crosses the line. Tellison crosses the line at 1:52.37 and Hathaway at 1:53.12. Tellison has fallen at the finish line. And we hope he's okay. The Canadian men's 1,500-meter record is set back in 2008 at a 1:42.01. Tellison has got up on his own steam. Okay, with Tellison taking the tumble, he looks okay. He's getting checked out. We're not going to start the pairing number 2 just yet. We're going to fix the ice right now. And it's done by the Ice Meisters with some slush and a canister of cold spray. Make sure this ice is nice and safe for these fast skaters. Okay, hearing the whistle. Looks like we're then now good to go. I see one skater, I see two. We now move to the second pairing in this 1,500-meter men's race in the Canadian Long Track Championships. Starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Jack Dybert. Say hello to William Lemelin Bilodeau. Here we go. Pair number 2 of 10 pairings is underway. Jack Dybert in the inside lane. William Lemelin Bilodeau in the outer lane. Lemelin in the black, Dybert in the Canadian suit. We got an opening 300 meters of 24:37 for Bilodeau and Dybert in at 24:68. My understanding is Tellison is okay, but that's is giving it all he had throughout that race and then attempting to just rest his hands on his legs. He just fell over due to exhaustion. We've got a lap time of 26:39 for Dybert and 26:55 for Bilodeau. Now let's look at their personal bests. Dybert has a personal best of 1:49.93 and Lemelin Bilodeau in at 1:51.43. So they'll be looking to achieve personal best. They're looking fairly even right now. We got a bell lap to go, and here we go. So Dybert, who started in the inside lane, will finish in the outer lane, and he's in the Canadian suit, so he's coming out of the second last corner, and now he's moving right into the outer lane, and Bilodeau will then take the inside lane. So 1:49.93 for Dybert, as he'll be looking for that, and Bilodeau 1:51.43. They had lap times of just over 28 seconds. Dybert, here comes Bilodeau. Dybert crosses the line at a time of 1:19.18. Bilodeau in at 1:19. Oh, there's something technically difficult with my timer. I'll get back to you on their times once I get them cleared up. We have their times, just not official as of yet. Stay tuned. With the time, I only have it up to 1,100 meters. We'll get the 1,500 meter time here shortly, but the technical specialist will attend to that right now. I've been asked to clarify the difference between junior, neo-senior, and senior while we have this break. And this is really more for those that are tuned into YouTube, Facebook, and the CBC feed. It really comes down to just categorizing age categories, because in the women's races you had a junior, Laura Hall was in there, and you had a couple of neo-seniors in there. Juniors basically ages 16 to 19, and neo-senior is in 20 to 23, and senior is 24 and up. And so they have the World Cups generally track the seniors. Sometimes the neo-seniors get in there with times. And in early December, they have some junior and neo-senior championships in Germany. But you got to have the qualifying times for that. So that's the junior, neo-senior, and senior. Most of the racers in the men's and women's are in the senior category. You have a few that are neo-senior, and really only one junior in the women's, and that happened to be Laura Hall. This meet one of the benefits of this meet, other than crowning a winner for each of the distances in the long track championships, is of course to qualify for the World Cups. And there are 4. And it's an entire process. And I'll talk more about that as time goes on, but the starter, and looks like we're moving to the 3rd pairing. And I'll get you the times on Dybert and Lemel and Bilodeau a little bit later, once I know them. Okay, we are moving to the 3rd pairing after that little bit of drama. Starting in the inside lane from Quebec, Hubert Marcotte. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Matthew Laxton. And they're off. This is pairing number 3, in case you've just joined us. 1,500 meter men's race, Canadian Long Track Championships here in Calgary, Alberta. Scott is in the Canadian skin suit, and he just put in a time of 23:87 for his 300 meter opener. Matthew Laxton in the orange skin suit at 24:64. Those are the top 2 times so far in the 3 pairings. Marcotte has a personal best of 1:48.45. Laxton in at 1:49.29. While they are settling in and completing this marathon sprint in the 1,500 meters, I just want to talk a little bit more about the selection process. There's a process that is, you first of all have to have the qualifying times. Some athletes have been pre-qualified, and there's an entire process around it that Speed Skating Canada uses. And don't ask me to get into it at this point because I'm not intimate with that, but they're looking to have Canada represented at the 4 World Cups with the best team possible: Poland, Norway, Salt Lake City, and Canada. Now, we've got Marcotte, who just finished a lap of 27:75. 48:45. I mentioned to you that the World Cup qualifying time is 1:45.70. So the lower the skaters go in time, the more difficult they make in terms of the selection process, whether they are a neo-senior, senior, or junior. Here comes Hubert Marcotte out of the final corner, finishing off the 100 meters, being cheered on. He's going to cross the line at a time of 1:47.67, which is a personal best for Hubert Marcotte. Matthew Laxton at 1:50.36, and that is a season's best for Matthew Laxton. So Laxton with the season's best, Marcotte with a personal best. Congratulations, gentlemen. Now moving to the 4th pairing, starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Matthias Bath. And in the outer lane, also from Alberta, say hello to Max Halleck. We're 200 meters into pairing number 4. Matthias Bath from Alberta. Max Halleck from Alberta as well. Halleck opening 300 meters is 23.96. Bath 24.76. These are very evenly matched skaters. They're both in the blue skin suits, but Halleck has the red armband and Matthias Bath will finish off in the inner lane. Rather, he'll finish off in the outer lane as he started in the inner lane, and Halleck will finish off in the inner lane. They're coming up to the bell ringing lap shortly as they head down the back stretch, getting instructions from their coaches and, of course, encouragement. Now they're heading towards the 1,100 meter mark of this 1,500 meter race. And you're going to hear a bell here, maybe not so much on YouTube or any of the feeds. But Halleck had a lap time of 27.74. They're about 2 seconds, about a second and a half part on the ice. Halleck is going to finish in the inner lane, and as he enters the corner first and will come out of the corner first, Halleck is looking for a PB of over to best it at 148.63. Here comes Halleck, all he's got. Bath is also doing the same. Halleck cross, and that's a personal best for Max Halleck. Matthias Bath crosses line at 150.91. Max Halleck, congratulations. We now move to the 5th of the 10th pairing in the 1,500 meter men's Canadian Long Track Championship race. Starting in the inside lane from Alberta, Ted Jan-Bloemen. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Hayden Meilleur. Okay, we're in the fifth pairing of the 1,500 meter men's. We got in the inside lane Ted Jan-Bloemen and Hayden Meilleur in the outer lane. Two prolific skaters here. Let's have a look at their opening 300 meters. Ted Jan at 24.58. Hayden Meilleur 24.75. It is kind of different for me to watch Ted Jan-Bloemen to skate a 1,500 meter race because which is 3 3/4 laps around the oval. I'm so used to watching him do 12.5 laps or 25 laps. I had a good chat with him yesterday when he joined me up in the timing deck. Such a beautiful skater, world record holder in the 5,000 meters. He's also a gold and silver medalist in the Olympics in Pyeongchang in 19 and 2000. He is doing the 1,500 meters. Obviously looking to work on his sprint technique for his longer distances, which he's what specializes in. His best time, his personal best, is 146.91. Hayden Meilleur is 146.12. So in this particular discipline, they're evenly matched. And here we are in the bell lap. And here Ted Jan-Bloemen started in the inner lane. He will finish in the outer lane. So here comes Ted Jan. He'll come out of the corner first. followed by Hayden Mayer. All they got, all the way to the finish line. Here comes Ted Jan Bloemen. He crosses the line at a time of 1:45.40, which is a PB by a long shot. Hayden Mayer at 1:47.01 is a season's best for Hayden Mayer and a personal best for Ted Jan Bloemen. Actually, I changed that. It's a season's best for Bloemen as well, not a season's best for Mayer. We now move to the 6th pairing. Starting this race in the inside lane from Alberta, Caleb Mueller. And in the outer lane from Ontario, Jordan Belchos. Race Mueller and Belchos. Belchos 300 meters is 24.96 and Mueller at 24.48. Now let's go back to the Jack Dybert William Lemelin Bilodeau race. Dybert finished his race with a time of 1:49.39. 1:49. So for Jack Dybert, that in fact is a personal best. Jack Dybert, personal best, 1:49.39. With respect to William Lemelin Bilodeau, he crossed the line at 1:50.04, and that was also a personal best. I report them now. We had technical difficulty during the race, but we have the official times now. Now we're watching Caleb Mueller and Jordan Belchos. They're coming to the bell lap with 400 meters to go. Mueller's got a personal best of 1:46.42, and Belchos at 1:46.16. Wants to do their personal best. They also want to achieve a qualifying time standard for a World Cup selection. That's a 1:45.70. And crossing the line first is Caleb Mueller at 1:47.25. That will be a season's best for Caleb. For Jordan Belchos, 1:48.16. That'll be a season's best for him as well. So Bloemen's the time to beat at 1:45.40. Mayer at 1:47.01 and Mueller in at 1:47.25. I'm now going to introduce to you the 7th pairing. Starting in the inside lane from Ontario, Jake Weideman. And starting this race in the outer lane from Alberta, Paul Coder. So in case you've just joined us or you've been along for the ride on the YouTube feed or Facebook, you're watching the 7th pairing of the 1,500 meter men's, the fastest long track speed skaters in Canada. You're watching Jake Weideman in the Canadian suit, Paul Coder in the blue suit. Weideman's opening 300 is the fastest opener so far today at 23.87. Paul Coder in at 24.22. This long track championships is about a number of things. First of all, to crown the fastest long distance speed, or rather the fastest skater in each of the speed skating disciplines. It's also to select or to hold national team and next gen team members, and also it's for the selection for the 4 World Cups, at least the the 4 World Cups that happen between now and Christmas. They're in Poland, Norway, Salt Lake City, and it finishes off in Canada the second weekend in December. That's where they want to be. They want to represent their country at the World Cup level. Jake Weideman has crossed the 1,100 meter mark first with a lap time of 26.83. About 4 seconds separating these two. Weideman is on a tear. He started in the inside lane. He's going to finish on the outer lane. And here he comes down the straightaway. Not sure if you can hear the cheering or not, but they're cheering him hard. Here comes Jake Weideman crossing the line at a time of 1:45.48 for a personal best. Weideman, 1:52.74 for Paul Coder. That's also a time meeting the time standard for the World Cup for Jake Weideman. We have 3 pairings left in today's event, the 1,500 meter men's. This is the 8th pairing. Starting this race in the inside lane, welcome from Ontario, Vincent Dehatra. And in the outer lane, from Manitoba, Jess Neufeld. All right, we're heading into the 200 meter mark on the way to getting a 300 meter opener time. Vincent Dehatra in the inside lane. He'll finish in the outer lane. His PB is 1:43.13. Neufeld's 1:45.57. Let's have a look at their 300 opener. They got the 2 fastest 300 meter opening times, 23.61 and Neufeld in at 23.74. I want to give a big shout out to the starters today who I got incorrectly at the beginning of the women's 1,500 meter. Chief starter today for the 1,500 meters is Mark Poulin. Assistant starter who handled the women's, Kim Fraunberger. And another assistant starter is Brad Bates. So, big shout out to Mark Poulin, Kim Fraunberger, and Brad Bates, our starters today. As these skaters head down the back stretch. World Cup qualifying time. The time to beat today as well as Ted Jan Bloemen, long distance world record holder, 1:45.40. Mayer's in there at 1:47.01. And Marcotte at 1:47.67 with 300 meters to go. We got Vincent Dehatra from Ontario and Jess Neufeld from the province of Manitoba. Here they come. The inside lane. Rather, after started in the inside lane, will finish in the outer. Neufeld in the inner. It's going to be close. Here comes Dehatra. He's going to cross the line first, and he does with a 1:45.58 time. 1:45.58, which is a season's best for him and a time standard for the World Cup. Jess Neufeld crosses the line at 1:46.69, which is a season's best for Jess Neufeld. 2 pairings left. Shapes up. This is the 9th pairing. Starting this race in the inside lane from Alberta, Connor Howe. And in the outer lane from Quebec, David Lalou. Here we are in the 9th pairing of the 1500 meters. This is the second last pairing of the day. We will have a medal presentation to the top fastest times. Rate your openers, David LaRue in at 23:22 by over a second and a third of 1 1/3 seconds. He's bettered that time. Connor Howe in at bettering it by a second, and at second place in the opening 300 at 23.6. So that's just indicating they got a fast start to this 1500 meter race. Connor Howe has a personal best of 1:43.48, and David LaRue at 1:44.37. These two are very evenly matched skaters. Connor Howe will finish this race on the outside lane, and LaRue on the inside lane. When I look ahead to the World Cup, there are some pre-selections already. There's the bell lap. Ted Jan Blom has been pre-selected for the 5,000 meters. And there's been lots of cheering, so I'll just come back to this race with Connor Howe and David LaRue. Here comes Connor Howe crossing over from the inside to the outside. He'll will then come out of the corner on the inside. So let's see how they make out. Qualifying time, personal best. Let's see what shakes out here. Here comes David LaRue. And Connor Howe crosses the line at 1:43.50, which meets the time standard and just above his personal best. David LaRue crosses the line at 1:44.91, and that's a season's best for him, and also meets the time standard for the World Cup. Ladies and gentlemen, on the feed and in live at the Calgary Oval, this is the 10th and final pairing of the 1500 meter men's race in the Canadian Long Track Championships. Starting this race in the inside lane from Manitoba, Tyson Langlar. And starting this race in the outer lane from Quebec, Antoine Gélineau-Beaulieu. If you just joined us, this is the 10th and final pairing in the 1500 meter men's at the Canadian Long Track Championships here in Calgary, Alberta at the Olympic Oval. Two very fast skaters. The final pairing, Tyson Langlar from Manitoba and Antoine Gélineau-Beaulieu. And they've got a 23:58. Both cross the 300 meter line. Opener, 23. Let's see what happens. That shows that A, they're going fast. B, they're very evenly matched skaters. Tyson Langlar's personal best is 1:43.39, 1:42.55 for Antoine Gélineau-Beaulieu. Their lap times are almost identical, as is their time right now in the race. So they're two evenly matched skaters. This is going to be an exciting finish for the 10th and final pairing. And once this race is complete, we'll have a medal presentation. The time to beat is Ted Jan Blom at 1:45.40. Hayden Mayers in at 1:47.01. Here comes the bell lap, and Hubert Marcotte at 1:47.67. So we're looking at a time standard of 1:45.70. And of course, their personal bests are in the 1:43 range. Let's see how it shakes out. Langlar is going to finish this race on the outer lane. Gélineau-Beaulieu on the inner lane. Evenly matched race. They're going to cross line. It's the tip of the skate that determines it. Crossing the line first is Beaulieu at 1:44.73 for a season's best. 1:44.90 for Tyson Langlar. And there's also a season's best. Both meet the time standard. But here's how it's going to shake out. The fastest time today in the 1500 meters, Connor Howe at 1:43.50. He will be crowned the champion. Antoine Gelano-Beaulieu at 1:44.73, and Tyson Langlar from Manitoba at 1:44.90. Those are the top 3 times. Give it up for those gentlemen. We'll give a presentation shortly. Well done, gentlemen. So stick around for the medal presentation. We are going to do a medal presentation shortly. Peter McCrory, the director of the Olympic Oval, will be handing out the medals. I think you know who they are, but I'm going to give them some airtime once they're ready to go. Stay tuned. We're getting really close to the medal presentation. I just want to let you know that if you're still on the YouTube feed, BBC feed, we're about to give a medal presentation to the 1500 meter men, top three, or the fastest 3 times in this discipline. Those at the Oval, the way the speakers are set up, they can hear me. Everybody who is supporting it and on the side of the timing deck can hear what I'm saying, but the actual recipients of their awards, they actually won't be able to hear us. They'll just hear their name. So we also have Susan Ock that's going to be handing out the awards. So let me start with introducing Susan Ock, who is no stranger to the sport of speed skating, who won a gold medal in the 1988 Olympics here in the short track and the relay, and also silver medalist in the in Lillehammer. And the other one eludes me, but silver medalist in the 500 meters. She's been inducted to the Manitoba Sports Hall of Fame, the Olympic Hall of Fame, the Canadian Sports Hall of Fame, and that you've arrived in the sport of speed skating when you have an oval named after you. So the person presenting the medals, would you please give it up for Susan Ock? Okay, I understand Tyson Langlar has done his shoes now, so he's good. So the third fastest time of these top 20 skaters in Canada with a season's best time, besting David Leroux by 1/100th of a second. That's how close it could be. In third place, would you give it up for the affable from Manitoba, Tyson Langlar? And in second place with a season's best time of 1:44.73. In second place, give it up for Antoine Gelano-Beaulieu. And also I want to mention that we have 6 fastest times in the world right now in the season's best, and now we have 7 thanks to Antoine. And the fastest time so far in the season in the 1,500 meters, setting a personal best back in the Fall Classic, was Connor Howe, and he was 2/10 of a second off his personal best with a time of 1:43.50. The crowning champion of the 1,500 meter men's here at the Long Truck Championships, ladies and gentlemen, Connor Howe. Congratulations, gentlemen. Tyson Langlar, Antoine Gelano-Beaulieu, and Connor Howe. Now, pose for pictures, for the archives, for memories. Hang on to them, gentlemen. Imagine that. The top 20 times in the world right now in 20 belong to Canadians. And you're looking at 3 of them right now. This song is very appropriate for these 3. Okay, this is the final event. It's 10 minutes to 6, 5:50 Mountain Daylight Time. We get to do this all over tomorrow with the Oval International and the completion of the events, I believe the mass start. The mass start for the Canadian Long Track Championship. So this concludes today. We do it all again tomorrow. Thank you for tuning in to YouTube, Facebook, and the CBC stream. We look forward to putting the show on for you tomorrow. Thank you to our executive producer, John Little.